everyone, welcome back for another episode of Cooking Easy with Maddie Spices. Today we're going to be making some beef stew, a nice hearty warm meal for the entire family. And what we're going to be using today is our Maddie's steak and beef rub seasoning. This is such an excellent seasoning that can be used as a rub or in any of your beef or steak dishes. Okay, so right now I'm going to have my husband come on out, and he's going to explain to you exactly how to make this happen.
Yes. All right. The old reliable beef stew. And today we got ourselves some fresh beef chucks from our local market. We got about 3 pounds here, and cut it up into 3-inch cubes, 3 by 3 cubes here. And this is what we're going to use to do this beef stew. It's very hearty, very healthy. We're going to add potatoes, carrots, onions, some leafy greens like some turnips, some beans, the whole 9 yards. This is going to be delicious. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be hearty. You can use it over rice. You can do it over potatoes. It's great. It's great. And this cooks down so nicely and shredded. You can take that meat, that shredded beef, and use it in other ways. Okay. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Okay, so great. So first thing I want to do is take some of Maddie's steak and beef rub, season this meat up to my liking. Don't need a lot, but you definitely want to get every piece touching it pretty well. There you go. This is great. Okay, beautiful. Got that. Go. Give my hands a quick rinse there. Good. Okay, you're going to take this pan, nice and hot, add a little EVO to it, extra virgin olive oil, so it won't stick. Okay. Move that around. There. There you go. All right. And next. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add the beef. Okay, get yourself a nice little swivel there. And what we want to do is try to brown these pieces of beef. It's going to take about 3 to 4 minutes per side. Get a nice crust and brown under to seal in that flavor. And once we do that, then it'll go to the pot where we can start stewing the beef. Okay? And it'll be nice and hearty meal. And again, this is about 3 pounds cut from our local market. Wow. Getting a nice sear there. You can hear that sound. I wish you can smell it. I'm starting to smell it myself already. Those are beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm seeing a few sides without any seasoning on it, so I'm going to go ahead and sear those in. Good, good, good. So about 3 or 4 minutes per side. Sear that meat in, and then we'll go to the next stage of it. Okay? Those are looking very, very good. There we go. Turn those over. Keep that pan nice and hot so it can sear. You want them to sear. You don't want them to steam. Okay. Good. You start to see that browning of the beef. Alright. Great. That's looking excellent. It's looking excellent.
Maybe you can tell them the difference between steaming and searing it to make sure that...
Well, if the pot that you're using or pan that you're using doesn't stay very hot, then the meat starts to give off juices, its own juices, and then it starts to create a steam, and it sort of steams the meat instead of searing it. And that creates a different flavor that we don't want, and it also makes the meat, to me, a little tough if you don't continue to steam it all the way through. Okay, and again, remember, we're only doing this about 3 to 4 minutes to get a nice brown caramelization on the outside of this meat and sear in those flavors.
How high should the temperature be?
You know, depending on your stove, but medium high to probably even high. Okay, but you want it to give a nice sear. Okay, great. Good. So I'm going to go ahead and move these over to our pot.
Okay.
They're just about ready. There we go. See, those are beautiful. Nice color on them. Just only wish you could smell them.
Are you trying to cook them all the way through or just brown the outsides?
Just want to brown the outside so that it can sear in all of that flavor. You put the seasonings on the outside and you want to sear those seasonings in. So as it's cooking or stewing for those many hours, and it will be many hours, somewhere about 6 hours, that meat will cook and continue to flavor your juices. Okay, great. So, all right.
So this is one of those great dishes that you can put on in the morning.
Oh, absolutely.
And let cook all during the day and let your house just smell so great.
Absolutely. You can put it in a crock pot. Put it on low, and you can go for 12 hours. Put it on high in a crock pot. Put all these things in here for the most part, and let it go for 6 hours if it's on high. But I tell you, it's going to be something that the family will love and won't take a lot of your energy to do. Now you see, you can probably hear or see this pan is still going. It's a lot of flavor at the bottom of this thing. I'm going to deglaze it. Put a little bit of this beef broth. Okay, about a 1/4 cup. Move that around. And what I'm going to do is, after getting these drippings at the bottom of this thing, I'm going to pour it into our pan to add to the flavor. All I'm doing is getting all those great flavors off the bottom and deglaze it. I'm going to put this aside here.
Okay.
All right. Yes, please. Okay.
Got it.
Great. And we'll do the rest of this if we need be sometime later. Right now, okay. Next thing, you got some fresh beef bones. Got it from a local market as well. You'll usually find them in the freezer section, but your butcher may have some right back. So you just ask him, hey, give you some fresh beef bones. This is about 3 pounds of them. And I like to add these beef bones through the stewing process since it's going to take so long. Usually, like I said, somewhere from 6 to 8 hours on these stews. But it will add an intense flavor to your broth, okay? And so what we do is put that in there like that, like so. Go ahead and add our rosemary. It's about 2 tablespoons of that. I add a whole medium onion sliced. Okay, this is about 2, but I'm going to add half of this. Add those in there. Okay. It's beautiful. Add a little bit more of Maddie's steak and beef rub. Okay. Put that all together. Get it on the pot. And we're going to add some water. Enough water to cover those beef bones. Okay. You don't want to go too far over it. Just right at it. Okay. That was 4 cups there for me. And like I said, just depending on how big your bones in your pot, you may need a little bit more. Okay, that does it for us. Okay, so now that's there. You're gonna put this thing on depending on your heat, but you want it to simmer. Okay, you're going to cover it. Thank you.
I think that's the one.
Yeah, you're going to cover it.
Okay.
Yes, beautiful. Going to cover it, let it come to a slow, low boil or simmer, and it's going to go for the first 3 hours. Just let it go, don't bother it, let it go. And then after those 3 hours, we'll get back to it. We'll start to taste it to see where it's going, which direction it is in, and then at some point we'll take those bones out, and we'll start to add in our additional ingredients, our beef broth, all those hearty vegetables and things that we talked about, and other flavors and things to make this dish pop for your family. Okay, so we're gonna let it go, and I'll see you shortly. All right, so we're back to check on this beef stew. First, before we get started, you probably noticed that we've changed clothes. You got the luxury of TV magic, and you just watch your screen and the next scene is there. Well, we had to do the 3 hours, and what we decided to do is go out to the tennis court. Family and I, we played some double tennis, where the kids actually end up somehow beating my wife and myself. But hey, sometimes that's how it goes. I think it was pretty close, considering that we haven't played in a while. I think it went 6-3 the first one and 6-4 the second one, but we'll get them the next time. All right, so enough for us. So the next thing is, next step is see where we are. Okay, the broth is pretty good still. Here, I'm going to put that down, and normally you would check it every now and then so you can check the level of your juice to make sure it's pretty good. The broth in ours is, so we're fortunate there. I'm going to go ahead and take the beef bones out, which has created a nice rich broth. I can see, I can smell it. It's going really well. Go ahead and take those out. Shake all the excess materials off of those. Onions and things that may have attached itself. And that's those. Get those on out the way. Put those aside. And I'm sure you can still hear it. Here we go. So now, next thing is, got a half cup of cornstarch here. Okay. Make some thickener. Got 2 cups of water. Alright, gonna whisk that together, make sure it's nice and smooth. Okay, if you like, you can use flour, you just have to whisk it a little longer, a little tougher, a little harder, but they both give you a pretty good outcome. But cornstarch is a little more forgiving than the flour. Okay, and here are the remaining drippings from when we first started out and we seared our beef off, and then I got the drippings. I put a little beef broth in there and scraped them from the pot, because that's a lot of flavor, so I'm going to add that also. Go ahead. Alrighty, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Okay, maybe a little salt. Okay, not too much. All right. All right. So, got 8 ounces of tomato sauce. I'm gonna add that first. Good. I'm gonna go ahead and scrape the bowl pretty good there. Get that in. Got about 15 ounces of stewed tomatoes. It's a little bit more than 15, but it won't hurt. My family tends to like them, so we go ahead and do about 20 ounces at that. Got 2 teaspoons of chopped garlic and 4 cups of beef broth to the broth that we already have created on our own. Okay, give that a little mix, a little stir there. Okay, and give it an arm or a whisk to our thickener here. I'm going to add that. Alrighty, there we go. Make sure that all gets blended together. Alright, and keep it on medium-low as we had it before. And this has to go for another 2 hours. It's going to be rich, it's going to be tender, it's going to be delicious, it's going to be hearty, the whole 9 yards. So we have 2 more hours to do. You do TP magic, I'm going to do my 2 hours, and I will see you shortly. I'm going to go ahead and add the lid here, and we're going to let it go. See you shortly. Alright, we're back again for the final stage of this beef stew. Got to add all these hearty pieces, our fresh vegetables. We got 4 beans, 4-part beans here. Got a chickpea, a red bean, got a black bean, and a pinto bean. And my local market happens to sell that. I think you can find it in most markets, but these are great. It's 1 can of it. Also have me some baby carrots. Cut those in half. Got about, say, a pound of them. And just cut them in half so we can have those. Got a whole stalk and a half of celery. Cut it down to about 1/4 inch pieces and then down the middle. And you can see what I did with them. Okay, it's great, not bad. Okay, have a little chew there. Got 2 cups of turnip greens. These are the frozen. They'll cook nice and easily. They'll give a nice, great color to a stew. Not too many people put a leafy green in their stew. This is something we've done here at Maddie's. We've loved it. I had it once or twice as a kid, but as an adult, hadn't been doing it much, but I've started to add it back, and it's wonderful. It's great. Got some fresh potatoes here, and that's 3 medium-sized potatoes peeled and cubed. Okay, and I got 1 sliced medium onion to add as well. Okay, I'm gonna put all this stuff in here. I'm also gonna add about a 1/2 tablespoon of Maddie's all-purpose to sort of help season those fresh vegetables and get it all going. Okay, I'm gonna give it another look here and another stir before we get going. And yes, doing that a couple of hours. I stirred it maybe 3 times. On the last stir, I helped the shredding process. I, grabbed a few pieces of meat and just with the fork, just like this, and just kind of went through them. And that kind of went on and broke them up just a little bit more. You can keep some of the chunks. A lot of people like that in their stew. I tend to like mine shredded, and so I do that. And as you can see, it's down to a shred, but not very, very small, but that's the gist of it. Okay, and it still has some thickness to it, but not a whole lot of thickness to it, because the extra vegetables will take up that space, and it's going to need it as it cooked through the next 20 minutes. And I want to emphasize 20 minutes. You don't want to go over that, because you want your vegetables to have a nice bite to them. You don't want it to be mushy and anything like that. Okay, and that's what gives it its heartiness. Okay, and when you put this delicious meal over rice, or you put it over potato, or if you decided you wanted to do just the stew, like my wife grew up, she never did the rice or the potatoes, she just did a bowl in the stew. And as long as it was hearty with these extra pieces, it was great. So that's what we're going to do today, present a few things to you, but this is what we have. So, and through that cooking process, you do want the simmer to be a little stronger than the cooking process, where it was kind of very low. You want to go from just medium low to about medium, or medium slightly high, but watch it. You don't want to go too fast, too hard, but those are the things that you'll need to make sure it's nice and perfect. Okay, so I'm going to start with the potatoes. Those also take a little longer than the other things, so I'll put them in first. Those in, great, and we'll dump the rest of those in there. Okay, good, good, good. Those are nice and pretty and beautiful. Okay, next I'm going to go with the carrots. Nice color on those. Nice and thick. Give it a nice bite. Sweet baby carrots. Oh yes. Those are going to be delicious and nice and hearty. Okay. Go with some celery. Okay. See, look at that color on those. I'm going to spread those in there. Alright. Okay. Great, great, great. Good, good, good. And I'm going to go with the peas or the beans. Okay, you can see those are nice. All of this together is going to make this thing so hearty, filling, and delicious. Family's going to love it. Okay, and lastly, our 2 cups of our frozen turnips. And you can use whatever leafy green you may like. You may want a collard, you may want a mustard. You can even use a kale. Okay, and again, they'll cook about the same time. It'll be good. And I said, and I also want to make sure we get these fresh, beautiful onions in here. And again, this onion is 1 medium onion sliced. Okay, there we go. Get all those in there. Those flavors are going to remarry. Give it another quick look and stir this around. Get them all in there. Yes, yes, indeed. Okay. This is going to be beautiful. You can see the mixture there. You can see the color there coming together. Okay. Now I'm going to add that 1/2 tablespoon of Maddie's all-purpose. Okay. Great. And I'm also going to add some black pepper. Oh yes. So it's about a teaspoon of that. And you want to stir it all in. Okay. Get the heat up on it and let it cook down. And maybe about halfway through it, you may want to get your spoon and taste it, see where the taste level, the salt level is. You may want to add a little bit more Maddie's all-purpose. I think our beef seasoning is already where it needs to be, and you might even need to add a little table salt if it's not giving you the great punch that you want, but I prefer to use that Maddie's all-purpose. It's a seasoning that I tend to use when I have no idea what to use to make a dish pop. It always works for us here at our home. Okay, there we go. Put that top on, looking beautiful, smelling delicious, colorful, the whole 9 yards. So we got about 20 minutes. I'll see you then. Alright, so look like we're about done. We did our 20 minutes. It's time to look at the final product. Stir it up here. Looking wonderful, looking wonderful. Nice and healthy, nice and hearty. I'm going to give it a little taste to see if the flavor is definitely where we want it at, and the salt level is where we want. So that's hot. Oh, great. Again, you always want to determine for yourself where you want your salt level. You may want to add maybe a teaspoon more of Maddie's, or leave it where it is, or take a little bit off. But this is it. Okay, so let's serve this up. Make sure we get a little bit of everything. We got potatoes, got carrots, got beans, got some turnip greens and onions. All that good stuff is in there. That's beautiful. Look at those colors. Put that there. Maybe we top it with some rice there, like that. Boom, a little parsley. And there you go. Okay, that one. And another twist, hey, a little potato. You can do some mashed potatoes if you want. But here's something that we like to do. Maybe put a little Maddie's down there. A little season in that potato. And go again. Just drizzle it there. Get all those beautiful colors in there. A little tomato too. Same thing. Top it off. It's all beautiful. Look at that, look at that. Now, as usual, I like to get a taster here, and I'm going to bring my lovely wife out so she can decide which one she wants to try here.
Ooh,
but here we are.
Really good. I think I'll go for the regular rice.
Okay. All right.
That has great, rich flavor.
Fantastic. Great.
It is so good. Okay, I'll
right.
eat a little bit more later.
Good.
But it is really good, and like he says, it's pretty easy to make. Takes a little time, but as long as you're going to go ahead and put the effort into it, this is a fantastic dish for your whole family. And once again, we want to thank you all for joining us with Cooking Easy with Maddie Spices. We want you to let us know what you think in the comment section below. Please give us a thumbs up or subscribe to our channel. We have a link to our website for all of our spices in the description. So please, feel free to join us again for another episode of Cooking Easy with Maddie Spices. Again, remember, Maddie Spices is spices so right
You can't go wrong. Thank you.